CTV Calgary, local breaking news.
Good afternoon. The federal government is freezing over $100 million in housing funding for Calgary. It comes as City Council reconsiders blanket rezoning. In a memo last week, councillors were told $129 million from Ottawa is being paused. Federal officials are looking for clarity on where Calgary is headed with blanket rezoning. The city was promised more than $250 million from the Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation to boost housing supply. So far, it's been used to convert downtown office space into homes and encouraging more secondary suites. The final 2 installments were supposed to be paid to the city by the end of 2026.
We are going to be pushing very hard to make sure that the housing policies locally here in Calgary make sense for Calgarians. At the end of the day, I report to Calgarians, not bureaucrats in Ottawa, and I'm going to be pushing very hard for zoning rules that make sense locally here in Calgary while still delivering the affordable housing that Calgarians need.
Calgary Council is set to discuss getting rid of blanket rezoning next month, and it could go to a public hearing in March. Tsuut'ina Nation's new head chief and minor chiefs have been sworn in.
You've given us something strong, something that's meaningful, that we can never, ever forget. You've given us trust.
Ellerly Starlight was voted in as new chief after Thursday's election. He beat former Chief Roy Whitney, who was charged with 2 counts of sexual assault by Edmonton police in August. Emmett Crowchild, the minor chief who was charged with sexual assault in a separate case, also lost his seat. The new council will serve until 2028. Healthcare workers have voted in favor of a new collective agreement with Alberta Health Services. Nearly 67% of members of the Health Sciences Association of Alberta voted to ratify the new agreement. The union represents a number of professions, including paramedics, pharmacists, and diagnostic imaging technologists. The new deal includes a 12% wage increase over 4 years and a workload appeal process. It follows 20 months of bargaining. Meanwhile, AUPE members start voting today on a tentative deal reached this past weekend. The deal was signed with just a minute to go before job action was to begin. The AUPE says the offer includes a 12% wage increase over 4 years, which amounts to more with market adjustments and retro pay. The ratification vote runs until Friday. The Canadian Union of Public Employees is launching a campaign to keep Alberta in the Canada Pension Plan. QP has set up a website called don'ttouchcpp.ca. It's also paying for an advertising campaign. QP's Alberta leader says Alberta leaving the CPP would lead to smaller pensions, higher costs, and increased risk. The union says Premier Danielle Smith is not listening to Albertans. Polls indicate most Albertans would like to remain in the Canada Pension Plan. The province has tabled legislation to prevent lawsuits against AIMCO, claiming it will protect Alberta taxpayers. The Crown Corporation manages public pension plans and in 2020 recorded about $2 billion in investment losses. Several pension plans have been trying to recover about $1 billion through arbitration. Alberta's finance minister says AIMCO has no cash set aside to cover potential liabilities, and the government won't put that cost onto taxpayers. Nate Horner says following management overhauls, AIMCO's investment concerns have been remedied. The federal government and provinces have taken in more than $5 billion in tax revenue since cannabis was legalized 7 years ago. The information was made available after a Conservative MP requested a breakdown of cannabis revenue. Alberta collected over $1 billion in tax revenue, second only to Ontario. Alberta also collected the most per capita tax revenue of any province, pulling in about $210 per person. The feds collected just over $1 billion in tax. The United Way is hoping Calgarians will open the door to a better understanding of how challenging life is for so many people. The organization has set up a display at South Centre Mall. It's trying to send a message that many people in our community are struggling to get by. Recent stats show 47% of Albertans are only $200 away from a financial crisis, and 1 in 4 Calgarians can't meet their basic needs.
I think their general reaction is positive, and it's really creating that awareness. So not realizing that this is happening in our local communities, this is happening in our own neighborhoods, it can be impacting our family and friends, our co-workers. So this is it's happening right where we are, right where we live, work, and play.
The display at South Centre is meant to coincide with Giving Tuesday, which is next week. An annual tradition is underway at Marlborough Mall. Calgary Police have partnered with 27 students from local schools for a day of bonding and holiday shopping. Each student gets a $200 gift card to spend at the mall. The Shop with a Cop program aims to build a positive relationship between Calgary Police and local youth. This is the 19th year for the event. If you've always wanted to be a contestant on Amazing Race Canada, here's your chance.
All right, everyone, good luck.
Casting for season 12 of CTV's The Amazing Race Canada is currently underway. Applicants must submit a video saying why you and your partner should be chosen. Be sure to include what makes your team and relationship special. The deadline to apply is December 15th. Thanks for joining us. We'll have more on the top stories coming up on CTV News at 5 and 6 or anytime online at ctvnews.ca/Calgary.